Hey there guys, welcome back. Today we are starting this Magic Maid. This is Model C Magic Maid from the 1930s, and honestly I don't know if it runs or not. I was going to plug it in to see, but I've got nothing but bare wire showing on the end of this plug here, so we're going to skip that step. We're not going to plug it in. But I'm going to go on an assumption that if everything wasn't cleaned up in here and a new cord put on here, this would run, because they usually do. Now, I haven't done a Magic Maid in a while. I've done two other Magic Maids before, so this will be the third one, and this is the first one on video. But one thing I noticed about this one that's different than the other ones is you've got basically three different colors on here. You've got like this green, like the jadeite color green up here, and you've got a different color green here, and then this is some kind of wrinkle finish, almost like a goldish tan color wrinkle finish on it. So there's some differences there, but anyways, this is an interesting mixer because you can flip it around on the stand, for your juicer attachment to go on to. Obviously it doesn't slide like it's supposed to. That all needs to be polished up. It's got a wooden handle on it, and the wooden handle is painted the same color as this part here. But this does got some interesting features, which doesn't seem to really be working too well right now. This thing right here, it's got this little lever here, which is supposed to be spring-loaded. So you pull it back, and you can tilt it back like this, and it'll lock it into place. Or you can tilt it like this, but it's probably gummed up with a bunch of crap in there, which is not letting it. It isn't letting it let the spring force it back in there. So, but anyways, that's another thing that we're going to work on as we work on disassembling this machine here. So let me get set up and get some tools. Oh, by the way, this is the color that it's going. It's a color called Permanent Green, and the whole machine is going to be going this color, aside from the parts that are black and and bare metal, but everything else will be going this color right here, this Permanent Green, which is a nice industrial look. I think that's going to look good on there. Alright, I got some tools out here. First thing I'm going to do is just cut off this old cord, just because it's in the way. Now let's take this plate off here first. Got a couple little screws here to hold this plate in place. I'm not sure how well it's going to want to come off without that knob off first. There we go. Alright. You see it's a pretty thick metal plate. It's got the painted background on it. So I think we're just going to end up just polishing this up here a bit, just to make it look a little cleaner. Alright. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to just take the cover off of this here and see what is, what's all going on inside of here. All these screws on the bottom, the heads are filled with all kinds of old funk. In there, like, it gets rock hard and it makes it hard for you to get your screwdriver in there. You gotta dig it out to get to it. see there's a pin on either side of this. I'm not sure what that was for either, but alright. So we've got our gears out. Now we'll have to go through and work on separating this. Get this separated after, after we get everything else apart, because this I've got to get polished up and cleaned. Alright, there's a gasket here I want to get off. The gasket's still intact. That's a good sign. But I just see there wasn't a lot of grease on those gears, and the shafts look dry. You can see there's really not a lot of grease inside of here either, and it looks pretty dry. And the way this works is you got your worm gear from the shaft from the motor coming down, and it turns this, but you see on the sides there's angled teeth cut into the sides of that gear, and that's what turns the shafts for the beaters. And it looks like there's debris up inside that where the shafts go. Looks like chunks of rust actually. But anywho, that's that. Alright, let's take out our brushes, if we can get them out easily. These don't have slots in the caps, they're just knurled on the outside. Alright, now we've got a spring out. No brush came out with that. I do see one in there, so. And it's right at the edge. Oh, so close. There we go. Now the brush looks good. Nice and long. Let's see if I get this other one to loosen up. I hate to put anything on these, but sometimes I need a little assistance. Alright, the brush is nice and long as well. Alright, so now to take this apart, I've got a couple of nuts underneath here that got to come off. And I think I'm going to end up taking it off of here. And it attaches to the handle with 4 screws on the back here, so I'm just going to pull these screws out. And we'll just get the motor separated from the handle so we start taking the motor apart. These got tapered washers I want to make sure come out with the screws on there. Because if it gets stuck in the machine here, or in the handle, and it could end up getting lost later. And we definitely don't want it getting lost. I don't know where I'd find another tapered washer that size. I still hear debris falling off of there. Sucker's stuck on there. Might be a job for a heat gun. There's like an isolator between the handle and that there, and it seems like it's really holding it on there well. There we go. There. You see it's red. Something red. It's like a red rubber isolator, I guess. It's obviously not going to come off in one piece. But anyways, I'll get the rest of that off before I prep it for sandblasting. But alright, let me move the base out of the way here. And let's get a little bit better view here. Alright, I'm going to take these two nuts off here. Smaller than 1/4 inch. And tight. I'm definitely going to have to rummage around in my small sockets and see if I've got one this size here. Must be some up in the threads in here. These things are not threading off that easy. Alright, so we got those off. Let's see if we can separate our motor halves here. I can't separate this until I get these halves apart. But, you know, I also do got this red seal thing on here. This red rubber piece that goes right across the seam. That ain't helping. Alright, now my washers finally came out. Everyone's on here under these nuts. Never underestimate the gluing power of old grime and funk. There we go. Alright, so you can see there's a lot of gunk and carbon buildup in there, but this the armature come right out with the bottom here, and I can see the screws that hold this on, and I should be able to just pull this right out, go. You see, the armature doesn't look bad. I mean, it's not worn down. We just clean it up and polish it up good. Alright, let me set the main part of the motor aside. Alright, you see there's all kinds of funk down in here, but there's also 4 screws. And you see this bushing here, and you see there's a, I don't know if you can see, there's a slot in this bushing right here. The way these oil wicks are in here, there's a slot in the bushing. There's a piece of string that runs through there, and then it wraps around the bushing, and that string will soak up the oil. You know, when you oil it, it's got an oil port right there. Funny, it even says oil next to it. When you oil that, it goes and soaks up that string, which in turn soaks a part of the string that runs through the groove in that bushing. And I'll get you a better look at it when I get it apart. But that's what keeps it lubricated. And granted, this one probably hasn't been lubricated in quite a long time. I gotta go get a bigger screwdriver. These are going to want to come out of here. I can't get them to budge. Wow. This one on the side can go. That's just like a I'm not even sure what that is. I would say it's a grease port, but it would only be getting to one shaft. As far as these screws here, these suckers are really in there. Alright, I got one loose. There we go. I just gotta really reef on these. There, all 4 are cracked loose. Making me nervous every time a screw's in that tight. I always fear snapping it off. Gather up all our screws and washers here. Let's see if we can get this to separate. There we go. Alright. So this part is now stripped down, other than I gotta get the rest of this rubber piece off the side here. But that's gotta be, cleaned out, degreased, and that's stripped down, ready to go. Now on here, you can see here is the string that I was talking about on this bushing, and I'm hoping that I can just take this bushing right out without messing with it at all. Chances are it's probably pressed in there pretty good. So, but you can see how dry that string is. The string should be soaked up with oil, but it's not. So I really don't want to unwind it. I'm not sure I'm going to have a whole lot of choice. Let's see if I can get this gear here out. I don't know what the heck is holding that in. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I do. That's what that screw on the side was for. That covers up the screw for this gear here. Now, see, it's all coming back to me. It's been such a long time, but now I'm starting to remember. You gotta have access to get to this screw in here. Of course, I got it unscrewed, but it's not wanting to come out. Sorry about the noise. There we go, it's coming out. There we go. That's the screw that holds this gear in the center here. So we'll pop that out. Set that aside to get it degreased and cleaned up. Alright. So looking down here, I don't see the end of the bushing. It looks like that's machined the same size as the center hole in the bushing, and then the bushing's pushed up against it. But I would have hoped that the string was pretty much the only thing holding it in there, and I could just pop it out with the string. But I may have to unwind this thing, which I'm not thrilled about. And you see the string isn't even in one piece anymore. It's so dry and brittle. Okay, yeah. The way that looks, I wasn't gonna get this bushing out that way anyways. You can see the string comes back through a hole here. So basically it held itself in place, which is pretty neat, but we're gonna have to rewind it with this string here, or depending on how brittle this string is, we may have to get some new string and wind that back up. So, and that bushing isn't coming out. I can see that's pressing. I could probably get that out, but I don't want to risk damaging it, because where am I going to find another one? But anyways, this part is ready to be degreased and prepped for powder coat. And now we got the upper half of the motor here. So inside here, we got a power cord connection, obviously, but there's also two clips that go on the brush holders in there that gotta come off. And see, probably the best way to do that is just to pop them off with a screwdriver. Anytime you're working on any old motor like this, you want to be really careful of all your windings on here and stuff, because if you damage those, you're kind of screwed. It's not like there's replacement coils available for these, or any of these old motors. So as you're poking around in here with anything, just be very mindful of those. All right, we got the clips off of the brush holders now, and that should be, we can feed this cord along with the spring retainer. We can feed that through this hole once we get these nuts loosened up on this coil here. And we should be able to just spin them out with our fingers once we get these loose enough. the whole rod wants to spin. So you gotta kind of hold the threads while you undo the nut. Alright, should be able to just pull this whole assembly right out. Just being mindful of this cord here, of course. Okay. Cord isn't going to come through. There's a restraint on the inside, but there's enough lead on it. Okay. Alright, so yeah, this wasn't going to pull out, so I'm glad I didn't pull on that too hard. It looks like the slot on there just fits over this lever, and that controls your speed. One lead from the cord goes directly to here, even though that seems loose. It's connected to something here, and I imagine that's probably not a tab that goes over to this, to the center pin on that lever. It connects this lever to that, and you see these leads go to the coil for low, medium, high. So I'm just going to cut this. And you see it's pretty cracked and crappy in here anyway, so it's a good thing I didn't plug this in. So we'll go through and cut our cord. And these screws right here are not going to come out until we get these brush holders out of the way. Now, I'll show you that here in a little bit, but right now I want to get this cord out of the way. There's this little metal cord restraint here that we just basically got to bend out of the way. Okay, there, once we get that bent out of the way, we'll just pull this whole assembly through with the spring and all. And the spring we'll polish up and we'll put this on a new cord. That's just your, I forget what they call that, keeps it from getting a sharp bend in it. Alright, so now we've got another bushing here, and this is the one that was at the top of the armature, and that's all, there's a ring here that's connected to these, and if you look on this side here, you'll see some rivet heads. Debris falling out. It looks like those are pins that go through, and on the inside here, they were split to separate them, open them up. Basically, what we gotta do is try and punch those out. Okay, so this is the setup I came up with here. What I'm setting this on is basically it's it's a part of a tool that's used for you use this for separating bearings and stuff, and removing bearings. It's a bearing puller tool that actually a viewer named Brian sent this to me to use when he seen that I had to make something for the Hamilton Beach malt mixer. I had to make something to pull the bearings off there. He sent me this, so I can use on bearings and stuff. But for now, I'm not pulling a bearing on this. But for now, it's a nice solid base that I can set to whatever width I want to punch out these pieces in here that I need to get out of here. So once I get it centered on here, I just go ahead and get my punch. Center the punch up on the back side of these metal pins here. Go ahead and just drive it through. Let's see if I can get it to come out should be it. There we go. Alright, there's one out right there. Well, that doesn't appear that came out very well. But anyways, why don't we go through? I'm gonna get the rest of these pulled out of here, and that way I don't have to be doing all this beating and loud banging and everything on the camera. I'm gonna get the rest of those punched through there, and then we'll come back once I get that apart. All right, so now I've got them all punched through now. You can see here's the cap with the oil hole on it there. See, it's got some goo in there. The oil hole on the end of that is plugged full of crap. And let's see, I should be able to just lift these brush holders right out of here now and get them out of the way of these darn screws. There we go. See, that's the metal plate that goes on the bottom, and it's got the brush holders in it. Now the brush holders aren't coming out of here because they're riveted to here, but we can at least get this whole assembly here cleaned up. Now we can pull these screws out. These are screws that went up through the field coil. And now, I'm feeling pretty good about this tear down now. Alright, there's a metal plate, another metal plate that went here. And let's see if we can figure out how this bushing here comes out. Once again, it's wrapped with string. There's a lot of gunk up in here. It almost seems like somebody had greased it at one time. But I'm not sure. That metal ring I don't think comes off of there. So I'm going to try to find, see, it's coming apart. We're going to try to find the end of our string here and unwrap this too. And the string is just coming apart in pieces. So we're going to have to find some cotton string to rewind this with here. String coming off in two different directions now. Yeah, I didn't have very high hopes for this all coming off in one nice even shot here. It just comes off in pieces. See, if you look at this, I got that off now, but it doesn't look like this bushing will come out very easily. Like, I'm assuming it's probably crimped over the top of this metal piece here. But you never know. Let's see. Maybe I can drive it off of there. I just don't want to be too rough on this at all. Alright. There we go. Did manage to get it off of there. Looks like it just presses on there. It wasn't even crimped. So that means we should be able to get it back on there after it's all cleaned up. Alright, so now we've got this part done. So we've got pretty much entire motor disassembled on here. Move this out of the way. We've got a lot of string here that's, gonna have to get replaced, rewound. There's two different sizes by the looks of it too, so I'm gonna have to look into that. But we've got quite a few parts now that are ready to be cleaned and ready to be powder coated. Here's those pins that went in there, and I don't know if I'm going to reuse these or not. It appears like they broke coming out. The end that was up inside broke coming out, so I don't know if I'll be able to reuse those or not. I may have to come up with a different way to attach that. But let me get this handle apart here. Make sure you guys can see. All right. And as you expect, a couple wood screws in there, because they are, after all, screwed into wood. Remember, this has a wooden handle on it. Of these screws are just packed full of crud. Figures about 80 some years worth of buildup on these things. You know, when you consider that, and then you look at the overall condition of this, I mean, it was actually in really good shape for as old as it is. All right, so now this can get ready for powder coating. These right here, these metal rings, you know, these just come off the ends, and I can go through and I can get this powder coated as well. Even though it's wood, you know, carrying it at a lower temperature, I can still get powder on there, and it should turn out alright. Alright, what do we got left? Just the base. So we've got the turntable, got the handle part, the upper and lower part of the motor, the gear housing, and this little piece here that was at the top, it's got the oil poured on it. All these are ready to be sandblasted, so I'm going to set that aside just to get it out of the way. Here's some tools and there's some parts, and if you notice, I'm kind of keeping everything a little bit separated here as we go, just, you know, because I'm not as familiar with these as I am with other ones, so I want to try and keep everything somewhat organized to an extent anyways. Alright, so now we've got our base. Let me move this back since this is bigger. And let's go ahead and get our base taken apart. I can see the spring on this thing right here. I may need to get another spring for that, because it doesn't look like it's in a hurry to act like a spring anymore. Alright, pop this screw out here. Should be able to just bring this arm right off of there. Of course, would be a little bit seized in there. If it don't come off, I guess penetrating oil in there. Oh, it's coming off. Alright, so you can see it's got, you know, some rust on there. Alright, that's no biggie. And I don't believe, you know, I don't believe this and this part here separate from this part on here, so, you know, in a case like that, all I have to do is just tape this up, the parts that I don't want powder coated, because I got to powder coat this piece here. Yeah, you can see how that's all just like mashed onto there, so it can't come off. You know, and this, like I said, I don't believe this separates from here either. So these parts will just get taped off, and then they'll get polished up later while that gets powder coated. Alright, so now, this, oh yeah, and I forgot all about this too. This is the height adjuster right here. So we got to get that all the way off, and I also got to get this piece here off so I can get to the spring back here. And this is, it's got a pin that's driven in there, and I don't know how difficult it's going to be to get that out either. may be something that, you know, I'll have to work on once it's, you know, put it in the oven. Just to get this cast iron expanded some, and then I can probably pop that out. Now I gotta work on this adjuster here. There's a square nut in here, and this rod, you know, is of course threaded, and you know, as you unthread it, it'll unthread from that square nut there. Even that seems to be a little bit on the rusty side here. It's coming up. You see it getting higher and higher. We just have to keep going until, there we go, until the nut comes out. Alright, we don't want to lose that nut. Alright, now we can pull this out. You can see this isn't threaded into the star gear here. It's basically splined so that it fits into the splines there, so as you turn it, it can still rotate up and down. Of course, it should be lubricated, and it's not. And then there's also a wavy washer that goes in here too, just to keep tension on that. So I'm going to set that whole assembly there. That's going to have to be polished up. Alright, we got something here. I'm not sure what the heck it is. I think it was just a piece of rubber, so that, you know, if you swing them, if the motor swings down, it has something to stop against here. So we'll have to find another piece of, like another rubber cap that can go on there, because this one's all dry. Yeah, these are definitely interesting machines, and there's quite a bit to do on these. I think we've got all of our old rubber off of there. This looks like it's got the original label down here too. Unfortunately, you know, you can't really read too much of it. It says Starlight Magic Maid. I see beater juice extractor. It's portable. Use it everywhere. Use the motor on a current specified on the plate, oil, and then I can't make out anything else on here. So unfortunately, I can't reproduce this, and this can't stay on here. So, you know, it's extremely brittle. You know, I can look online and see if I can find a better picture of this. It'd be nice to be able to put that back on there, but for now, it's, you know, it's gonna have to go. Alright, the only thing I have left on here now is just these feet. Now once these feet are off, I'm gonna have to drill them out. They're pretty crunchy. But once these feet are out of here, then this is ready to be done too. And all the parts are ready to be powder coated, all the internal parts are ready to be cleaned up. I can check all the wiring, you know, and on the switch and everything as well. You know, I mean, everything looks to be in good shape on here. So I do want to get this switch off and just make sure everything is good on there, but I'm not sure if that does come off or not. So yeah, a couple things I'll have to look at, you know, but overall all the parts inside look good. I mean, the gear, you know, the worm gear looks good. I gotta get all my hardware organized too, but everything looks good on it. Obviously I'm gonna have to do some looking for some parts for like rubber parts for here, and stuff like that. But yeah, this one's just about ready to be powder coated. So once we get everything cleaned up and all these parts done and powder coated, we'll come back and get everything put back together. this thing's finally wrapped up and done now. We have everything put back together here. We have all new grease in here. We got everything lubed up. As you seen earlier, this these two bushings here where the oil wick was just string wrapped around it. The bottom one was decent, so we were able to rewrap the string on there and soak that with oil. But this upper one up here, though, as you see, I mean, it was pretty brittle. It just came apart in pieces. Trying to take it off of there, so we couldn't reuse this and couldn't really find anything suitable. So basically, just made a new oil wick on there with felt. Just cut a strip of felt and then wrap that around there a couple times till it filled up this cap here, the space between the bushing and this cap. So now you can oil in your oil hole here, and it will soak up that felt oil wick in there. Brushes were good on here. We got a new cord on here, and it's grounded. I got the turntable spinning good on here. New rubber feet, new rubber stop in the back here. We got the lettering done on it, which the way we did this one is, we shot all these parts in green. The handle, of course, the original finish on there because it was a real close match, and I didn't really want to risk damaging this handle at all, trying to put it in the oven to cure it out, which sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't, but I don't want to take any chances with this one. And anyways, we shot the base in black, and then we went through and we shot this permanent green on it, and just basically just, with a damp finger just wiped off the letters and put it back in and cured it. So now you've got letters that are powder coated as well on there. So that looks cool. We have a little bumper here. When you lower this down, this will hit against it. The only thing I noticed that's missing on here is I think there was a thumb set screw or something on here that I'm going to go tomorrow and try and find something that will work in there, because that will set your height on here. You can turn it at where you want your height set on there. This also does have adjustment right here. You can turn this little wheel here, and that angles it back. But you can also set your height with this too. Loosen it up, and then you can go ahead and just lift your motor right off or put it back on. But anyways, let's go ahead and turn this thing on and give this a listen to. These are your little beater ejectors on here, I believe. I'm not sure if you push those up to eject your beaters or how that works. It's been a long time since I've seen one of these Magic Maids, but these things make quite a bit of racket when they're on there going around. Maybe it's different when you have your beaters in, because I'm not sure if that pushes these up with the beaters in, or what the deal is. Maybe with the beaters in they're quieter, but for right now, they make a bit of a racket when they turn around. But anyways, this one's a wrap. We're going to get this one back to the owner now. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll get back to those as soon as I can. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Let us know that you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe and click that bell down there so you can be notified when we get some more videos. We've got some stuff coming up. We've got some old Hamilton beaches coming up and stuff. It's been slow going here lately, so we haven't really got a lot of stuff, a lot of videos up lately, but we do have more coming up, so you want to be sure to subscribe so you can get notified of those. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.